and welcome to day 23 of my 60-day challenge. Damn, my voice is kind of rusty already. So tonight was Friday night, and I'm actually sitting right here. You can see right now writing my log, just keeping my notes open, which I did a little bit of today. And I'd like to go over some of this on this video. Perfect. So tonight I went out alone at around a little bit over midnight, and as you may or may not know, lately I've been trying to work on like accepting being in a low energetic state and just kind of rolling with it and making it work anyway. And actually, more importantly, going for that sexuality, establishing intent, and closing from low energy, because that's something that's been incredibly hard for me to do. Something where I usually need to be in like a very high energetic level before I'm like very like, let's go fuck, let's go do this and that. So I tried doing that just from not being in state at all, which is why some of my past nights here have been really, really rough, because I'm essentially going out, not really in like a super energetic mood or anything. I'm just kind of like humming around, and I'm not trying to get in a good mood either. I'm just there, and I'm accepting the way that I am being just like that. So I started off, I met a two-set earlier, that's what I want to say, earlier in the night, and I was just doing it was actually on a dance floor, that's what I wanted to say. Sorry about that, I'm really fucking tired. It's like 5:30 already. So I approached them on the dance floor, and actually initially they were a three-set, and I walk up, I'm like, hi. And something that was very interesting happening is that, try to imagine for a second that you're in a high state, and you're just like, yay, high five, and you don't get that high five. Now, you're going to be probably viewing that as a rejection because, I don't know, probably because of the state you're in. Now, what was really interesting is that I was in a low energy vibe, and I was like, high five, and they were like, yeah, and I'm like, okay, whatever. And I did not see it as a rejection, because I was already in that mood where I'm like, kind of like, whatever, it's not, it's not a big deal, it's just a high five. So I think that's an important distinguishing, I don't even know what the word is, but it's an important difference to make between like being in low and high state, is that you can do the same stuff, but not only will you have different reactions, but you will also interpret the reactions differently, and that's what I think is really important. And I think that's really where the lesson is now starting to settle in. And so even despite of like that kind of initial like whatever, I just stayed in the set. I'm like, oh, okay, never mind, like, hug, I like you guys. And I got the hug instead, and they're like, you seem cool too. And later on, it turned out that the initial girl that I actually approached in a three-set, she was just an acquaintance of the two other. And so the two girls, that was the two-set I stayed in for the whole night. I was like in that set for 2.5, 3 hours, I think. And then afterwards, I stumbled around a little bit on my own, after which I went home. And the reason for that was probably a huge lack of intent. I pulled yesterday, I had sex yesterday, so I'm not even feeling that horny. Maybe I'm just not horny enough to be like a pickup dude, who knows. But I think that's really interesting that had such a huge influence on like whether I wanted to go for it or not. Now, I did get in a pretty good mood for introducing myself to the set. I stayed in it for a while, started joking around, and the most important thing that I did is I introduced sexuality and intent. Not kind of like really powerful, but it was still in there. I did a, hey, you guys are now my girlfriends kind of role play, where I was like, at first I thought it was going to be difficult, but you guys are clearly inseparable, so I'm okay with it. You're both my girlfriend now. We'll go home and have hot, steamy threesome sex, and then in the morning you'll make me pancakes. It's going to be fun. So I kind of introduced that early, which is something I typically have had a hard time doing when not being in state. So this is exactly what I want to work with by going out and doing these like low state days. Um, and I had something crazy happen to me today, actually. I had a drink thrown at me. Not by a girl, but actually by a guy. Um, I got a little bit reactionary, a little bit phased by it because it took me by surprise. I was kind of like paying my attention here. I was with Target, building a good vibe, building rapport. We were just like, a little bubble, and then suddenly both of us get hit by this drink, and I turned my attention to him. Um, I think at this point I should have. I mean, I probably should have done it before too. Should have noted that he was like uneager. I guess it's probably the best thing that could have happened. Like me paying attention, kind of like peripherally, noticing that he was paying attention to us and being unhappy about it. And so I turned to him and I'm like, what the fuck? What the hell, Frederick? What's going on, man? We're all friends here. Like, I know the girls. We're cool. We're friends. And he's like staring me dead in the eye. He's like, if I see you flirting more with her, I'm gonna beat you the fuck up. And I'm like, and I kind of really didn't have a good comeback for this, and that's why I said I'm a little bit reactionary, because I did get faced by this, I will admit. But I tried keeping my cool, or at least calm. I tried being calm, and I tried not to get in a fight with this guy. I never get in fights. That's not my thing. So I'm like, I mean, yeah, I'm not flirting with her. We're just friends. I just met them. We're friends. It's good. It's cool. And luckily here, this is where it gets cool. So the Target's friend, the other girl from the two sides, just sitting across from me, she instantly goes like, what the fuck, Frederick? What the hell's going on? Like, Martin's a cool guy. What are you doing? And she draws his attention. So I figure, hey, this is probably a good time to diffuse the situation. So I turn to Target and I'm like, hey, let's go outside. And she's down with it. And I guess she knew what I had in mind. Like, we wanted to diffuse it. Here's where it gets a bit tricky though, because during the set, so the reason this guy threw a drink at me was that his friend was kind of into the Target as well. And he's kind of like sitting on my right side, the Target is on my left side. So he's completely out of that set. Like, he's not talked to her for the entire duration that I've been in the set. He's like not in at all. And I think that pissed his friend off. Yeah. So the trick here is that how do I get, like, so tell him, hey, Jacob, I need to leave. I need to get out from here. And how do I get out here without him seating back down and now he has isolated Target? Like, that was like my concern there. So I get up really slowly and I kind of get in front of him. I take a step back. I basically lean towards him. I let Target get out in front of me. And I kind of lean back and said to him, sorry, dude, I'm just being a gentleman. Ladies first, So I kind of made sure that he could not, like, block her off. And then I walk off with her, go outside, I kiss closer. By the time we come back in, guys are gone. Super awesome experience. If it wasn't clear, I totally kissed closer outside. And I went on a little adventure, bounced for a few times outside just to kind of build that rapport. Yeah, sorry, I'm just looking at my notes here because I want to go in detail with this. Yeah, so I've been going out doing like low energy sets, and something I really want to point out and talk a little bit about is some small changes that I can make to that, and that I did today is that even when I walk up and do a dance floor approach, I'm not trying to be all like dancey and like, hey. I'm just like standing very grounded, hands in pocket, probably not the best. Should have just had my hands by the side, but who cares? So sorry about that. So just like being very grounded in my own reality, being very congruent to how I felt. And I just kind of stay like that. Sometimes I felt like moving a little bit. If it was a song that I had a move for, I would do that move or two or something. And then otherwise I was just talking to them, giving a few hugs, giving a few high fives, commenting on their dance moves, because why the hell not? And I noticed that's a good way to draw someone into your reality. I met a female friend of mine later in the same bar, and she was all like, hey, I'm so fun, I'm so drunk, la 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 la. She was like all over the place. And I noticed myself trying a little bit to like get on her energy level, and I realized I should not have done that. I should just have been like, I'm a little bit down tonight. You seem in a good mood. And then just drawing her into my reality. instead. That would have been way better. So that's like a small improvement I can make there. And another thing I noticed is I tried a little. So the whole interaction with the women were like 2 maybe 2.5 to 3 hours long, which is way, way, way too long. It's not necessarily too long or a bad thing. It's just I could have made something happen way sooner. And I think the reason nothing happened is that I tried way too hard to isolate and escalate, when in fact I did not need to isolate. I didn't need to isolate because, and here's what I realized, this is kind of pocket hypothesis, so I'm not sure about this, but these two girls, they're like best friends. So what would happen if I go for the makeout on one girl, and would she be inclined to like reject me, no, not in front of my friend? The reason girls normally do that is because they're afraid to get slut shamed, but best friends don't slut shame each other. That's kind of the hypothesis. So what reason does she have to neglect me on the kiss? She doesn't need to leave. She can kiss in front of her friend because her best fucking friend is not going to slut shame her. She's going to be rooting for her, particularly in this case when the friend was already rooting for me, like kind of diffusing the situation for me. Obviously, they both thought I was a cool guy. Why? I should have read that. Not a why, just like I should have read that sooner. And I think that was kind of it for today. That's all I wanted to talk about for now anyway. Bit of a long video, sorry about that. Thanks for watching it through to the end. I'm definitely going to be rewatching this, so most of all this is for myself. I want to kind of digest this in the future. So again, thanks for watching, and I'll see you on day 24. Good night.